very few words, and then I'm going to hand over to the Justice Secretary, Kenny MacAskill. All I really want to say to you is we appreciate you coming along here today. I hope you appreciate us, Kenny earlier on, and us today taking the time to talk to you. We know you're here with a number of concerns around resources, levels of service and pensions, and we want to engage with you on all of these things. And pensions in particular, as the Scottish Government, we've made very clear our views on the Westminster Government's proposals to increase pension contributions. So we're grateful to you for being here today, to come and to directly speak to us about all of these issues. I know some of you are coming inside to the question and answer session as well, and we'll continue to work with you and to engage with you so that we can deal with all of these issues in as constructive a way as possible. So thank you.
I'm Graham Bartley, the Brigade Chair from the Fire Brigades Union in Fife. The reason we're here today in Kirkcaldy was to lobby the Scottish Cabinet as they visit the area of Fife. We are concerned about the current financial crisis which is affecting Fife Fire and Rescue, and whilst the Scottish Government are looking at a single fire service model, we are here to lobby them to see if there's any way that they can provide some form of interim protection to Fife Fire and Rescue while we go through this process. Over the last 5 years, the budget to Fife Fire and Rescue has been cut by almost £4 million. We have lost almost 40 firefighters, and there's proposals for next year for another 20 posts to be lost. We're the only brigade in Scotland that run with 4 firefighters on frontline appliances, and we're no longer able to staff our specialist appliances 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're also currently looking at the removal of our line rescue and water rescue functions which are provided at Lochgelly and Glenoffice fire stations as a result of the cuts to the financial budget.
I'm Claire Baker, I'm the Labour MSP for Mid Scotland and Fife. I'm pleased to be here today to support the firefighters in Fife. The Scottish Government are here today, and we want to make it clear that there are real concerns in Fife about the budget cuts that are coming down the line. We are already seeing the loss of firefighters, and in future years that can be up to a loss of 20 firefighters in Fife. And I don't think that's acceptable, and I'm here to support FBU's campaign to make sure the Scottish Government are hearing the case in Fife and that they're prepared to stand up for Fife and make sure that people are, their safety and their communities are protected, and this vital service isn't cut so deeply that they actually have concerns about the viability of the service.
The judgment about what contributions you make should be driven not by a decision, a blanket decision by government, but by what's the valuation of a scheme. Is the scheme sustainable? Is it able to be, do the contributions adequately support all of that? So those valuations are underway just now, but I've not seen the fruits of all of that yet.
Well, we're here today to show some support for our colleagues in Fife with issues that they're facing at the moment. We're also here to lobby the Scottish Parliament on some of the issues surrounding the Scottish Fire Service with regards to reform and making sure that there's not many cuts to frontline service.
So, and then if you want to have a more sustained long-term discussion about what's the right type of pension scheme, is it career average or is it final salary or whatever it's going to be, you can't really have that if people have had their confidence
sapped
undermined
by this 3.2,
And it also comes at a time, very practically, where everybody's household income is under pressure just now.
I'm extremely grateful for you taking the time today. I've had constructive discussions with Roddy, with John and others before, and these will continue. I know how concerned people are about their pensions, and we share those concerns. The proposals by the coalition government are undermining what we are attempting to do in keeping Scotland moving, keeping people in employment, and that seems to us the wrong course of action. We are limited and constrained by what we can do, but as I say, we are taking what steps we can, and will continue to meet and to discuss with you. I know the particular problems in Fife, and I also know there's a desire for a decision to be made on where we're going, on whether it's to be a single service or a regional model. I'm bound by parliamentary protocol not to say too much publicly until I actually say it to Parliament. But I think it's quite clear that we are very grateful for the support that we've had from the FBU in support for a strengthening case towards a single model and a single service in Scotland. So I say that's something we'll continue to discuss. It's something that we'll be making a statement to Parliament very soon. And in the interim, you can rest assured that our priority as a government is to keep people in employment, which is why we're very grateful that you've been prepared to throw no increase in wages in return for no compulsory redundancies, and these matters, as I say, are being undermined by what the coalition government is doing.
The demo protest and lobby today have came at a really interesting time for the fire service in Scotland. As you maybe heard, the Minister, Kenny McCaskill, indicated that a decision was to be made very shortly on a proposed single service model. Now that may come as music to the ears of those firefighters in Fife who have been facing a cuts campaign by their local authority for the last 2 years. We see with the introduction 4-4 crewing on fire appliances. Absolutely shocking situation we find ourselves here in the Kingdom, and it's apt that it's here in Kirkcaldy, and the Cabinet Summer Tour has brought them here. So firefighters from throughout Scotland have attended. From the north of Scotland to Dumfries and Galloway. They've came in numbers, they've came to support their Fife colleagues, but also importantly they've came to express their concerns as to the attack on firefighter pensions. The proposed 3.2% tax grab by the Westminster Condem administration is a shocking attack on workers throughout the public sector, and firefighters are no different. But we've been seeking assurances from the Scottish Finance Minister John Swinney, who we spoke to today, that he will protect our pensions. He's given undertaking that he will look at every way to protect those pensions, and it's important that we do have that protection, because they're looking for support from us when it comes to the modernisation of the service and to the restructure of the service, and we will give that, but only with a caveat that we have our pensions protected. We'll work with the government if they are willing to work with us, but they're a government who have now been in office they're in their second term, they've been 4 years in office. We are looking for them now to stand up for firefighters, and we'll work with them to produce a better service for the people of Scotland, and safe jobs and better wages and conditions for FBU members.